right, we are covering Printful today, so we're going to look at how Printful works with Big Cartel. From the dashboard, we are going to go into the App Center. We're going to click Printful. We're going to pretend I am a seller starting from scratch. All right, so as with any seller in any app, when you get in here, you're going to click Add to your shop. And if you've already got a Printful account, you're going to log in with your email and password to connect the two after you follow the prompts. If you do not have a Printful account, then you will click sign up and you will follow the sign up process, at which point when you're finished, your shop will be connected to your Printful account. I have a Printful account, so I will go ahead and log into it now. Now into Printful. I am not connected though. I do have to follow these prompts to connect my shop. Scroll down here to authorize and click connect to Big Cartel, that big red button. And then we are used to seeing this with other integrations. Just got to click connect here. And at which point we see that my products are now being pulled in from my Big Cartel shop into my Printful account. Usually it's pretty quick, doesn't take very long, even if you've got a ton of ridiculous test products like I do. You will notice none of them are synced. So pulling them in from a Big Cartel shop does not sync them. If I want to go this route, I have to manually sync each and every one. Now this will not, I have actually never seen this. It would actually be the case if, at least I haven't seen this since Printful created the option to create a new product and then push it to the Big Cartel shop. Working backward from Big Cartel to Printful, which is how it used to always have to be. We don't see this very often. It might come up if a seller is like connected with Art of Wear and they're sick of it and they want to, go with Printful instead. That might be the case. But for the most part, sellers will create their products on Printful and push them to their shop. But let's walk through this just in the off chance you do get a seller who's like, I hate Printify, I want to use Printful, but all my products are on Big Cartel. They'll go ahead and import them into Printful, and then they need to manually sync each one. So let's find an easy one to sync that sort of makes sense, maybe. Here we go, we'll do this one. All right, so first up, we need to choose a product. That's gonna open up the catalog, and I believe the mugs are in Home and Living. Yep, here we go. We're gonna click this enamel mug. All right, and this is their product creator, basically. We've got a bunch of different design options down here. I'm gonna go ahead and add my little Tired Hands, Quiet Minds logo to this mug. And Printful's gonna tell a seller if their image is terrible or not. Usually this is pretty quick too. Oh, let me try that again. My internet's being a little odd this morning. Here we go. All right, so for this small product, the image is good, 300 DPI. And there's other editing options up here, but I'm gonna go ahead and just leave it in the center of the mug and click continue. Okay, now that we are finished, I'm going to get back to my products list by clicking my shop name right here, or I can click this little shop logo and I can just click my shop name from that little side navigation as well. So let's find that mug now that it's synced right here. So we got the Tired Hands mug is now synced. Now, if someone purchases this mug in my shop, it's going to automatically be fulfilled by Printful. But in my shop, I do not have an image. So I can actually download mock-ups and then I can upload it as my Big Cartel product image. That's another nice thing about Printful. You can upload their created mock-ups to your shop's product listing. So now let's create a product from scratch on Printful and push it to the Big Cartel shop. Let's click Add Product. And let's do the tank top. All right, now by default, whatever color it's displayed in is going to be automatically selected, but you can go through, sellers can click a ton of different stuff. If something is limited in their area, like this obviously is, they're going to get a message right here. These variants are not available in my store's region. So the closest Printful warehouse does not have these colors here, right here, in extra small. So again, that's always going to pop up if there is actually an issue with the product. So I'm just going to unselect these and I'm going to just stick with the color black, and automatically all the available sizes are selected. Okay, so let's go ahead and drag that same image here. Okay, and this is good for the size it is, but what if we want it a little bit bigger? All right, it's poor quality. They're telling me to scale it down. See, Printful will not let you print something that is poor quality. If it's okay quality, like this is okay, we'll let it slide. But if it's poor quality, they don't want people being like, oh, I got this printed from Printful and it looks awful. So just heads up there. Let's make this small and just put it like right there. Okay, there we go. We'll go ahead and continue that. Okay, you can create your mock-ups here. You can do custom mock-ups or basic mock-ups. The basic mock-ups are usually, they're pretty good. Usually they have like a person wearing them, or if it's a mug, it's like on this cute little kitchen counter, stuff like that. This is just a very simple one. So we'll go ahead and click continue. This page is the most, well, I wouldn't say the most important, a very important page. This whole thing is important. This right here, unisex garment dyed tank top, that's gonna be my product listing in my big cartel shop if I do not change that. So I wanna change that. Okay, same with this description. I can leave all this as is and just, you know, push it to my shop this way, or I can make adjustments. This add info about on-demand manufacturing and its benefits to the product description, I've never seen a seller include that because it's pointless and you don't need that in the shop because you're not branding Printful, you're branding your shop. So I am not in the EU, so I do not have to add mandatory information about product safety. This right here, product visibility, super duper duper important. This is clicked by default. If a seller unchecks this like that, it's not going to be pushed to their shop. It says right here, publish product. This product will be visible in your online store. So if you get a seller saying, I just created a bunch of stuff on Printful and none of it's in my shop, they unchecked this. And there is not a way, once a product is created in Printful, to push it again to the shop. This is the only way to push it to the shop. So again, if you get sellers saying that they made a bunch of stuff and it's not showing up in their big cartel shop, they did not have that selected, unfortunately. But I've selected it. I'm going to click continue. And here we are. Now this right here is the last step before submitting to the shop. This tells me my breakdown, how much I am going to earn if I set the rate of all these tank tops at $20. If I up it by $1, we can see that my earnings change over here. Okay, this does not include tax and shipping. It does not. Printful uses flat rate shipping, so sellers do need to refer to Printful's shipping page and then match up their big cartel shops shipping to make sure they are covering their bases. They do not want a shipping shortfall that they're going to end up having to pay for, which would be a bummer. So we'll go ahead and click submit to store. All right. Let's find that. Should be in the first page here. There we go. Now it's uploading, my product to my big cartel shop. So now it should be there. We'll go back over, go to my products, and there it is. Tired Hands Tank. Okay, and there's 6,993 in stock. They've got a ton in stock. If a product does run low or runs out, Printful always notifies the seller. They give them a heads up when it's running low, and they'll give them a heads up if they are about to discontinue a product that is in their shop. So for example, if this enamel mug, they were like, nah, this isn't selling great, or we found a better one, we're going to discontinue this particular enamel mug, they will let the seller know this is when it is getting discontinued. You're going to need to choose a different product. Otherwise, it'll just be unsynced from their shop. Printful's not going to fulfill a product that the seller didn't actually choose. Now, before we finish, let's look at more. That's where it is. Billing. So they need to click the little plus button, go into billing, billing methods. Okay. Printful will not produce anything unless they get paid first, which is understandable. The seller's not going to ship a product unless they get paid. So sellers have to add a billing method to their Printful account or nothing will be produced. They'll still accept orders, and a seller can come in after the fact and add a billing method really quick, to get it all fulfilled. But Printful's not going to do anything unless they get paid first. So, and I have seen this a couple of times where a seller will be like, oh, my customer ordered this and it never shipped out. And then I say, well, do you have a billing method added? And they didn't. So that is crucial to get anything, produced by Printful. Add that billing method. And then once they do add the method, and they actually start getting orders, Printful is pretty cool. You can actually see, I don't have any orders to actually go through. I had some old orders, but maybe I'll get some screenshots. But Printful lets you actually see the full production. You can see the initial order. You can see when the product is being created. You can see when it's being packaged up. Then you can see when it's being shipped. So it's pretty cool to actually see all that. But that's Printful. That's how it works with Big Cartel. If you don't have a Printful account, I would highly suggest signing up for one with just your Big Cartel email and play around with it. It's actually pretty fun and cool. I enjoy Printful quite a bit. But yeah, that's Printful.